Thank you for joining us today. My name is Mark Munson with Ace Micro. This is our July educational webinar entitled Reduce Costs and Increase Revenue with E-Commerce. So we're excited that you're here. We appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us today, and hopefully we have some good content to share with you today. So I'm going to go through a couple of PowerPoint slides here, and then we'll turn it over to our presenter, who I'll introduce in just a moment. So from a housekeeping standpoint, let me let you know that just all attendees have been muted. We do that only to keep down background noise. Certainly want to hear from you. And in my item 3 here, if you do have questions during the sessions, please enter them into the GoToWebinar questions section. We'll be fielding those throughout the session. We'll probably take a break about halfway through, field some questions, and then we'll have some time for Q&A at the end as well. Also, just to let you know, the session is recorded. So if you would like a copy of that recording to share with coworkers or people that couldn't attend, just reach out to me and we'll get you a copy of that. So moving on from that, I want to really start off with a survey, just to get a sense. So if you can do me a favor and in the GoToWebinar, kind of give your responses here, but I'd like to get a sense of kind of the people in the audience today. So first question we have for you is, do you currently have an e-commerce web store for your business connected to your back-end ERP system? We're assuming that's going to be Business Central, but it may be something else. So do you have e-commerce? Yes, no, or I'm not sure. So if you can respond to that, that would be great. Second question, are your clients asking for more self-service and online capabilities? We're starting to see some trends, which we'll talk about here more, that really people are looking to be more personally empowered. And so a lot of our clients are getting these types of requests, and I wanted to get a sense if your organization is getting these types of requests from your clients as well. And then the last question for everybody in the group, do your competitors have customer portals or web stores? Have you gone out and searched and seen what they're doing? You know, it's something that we're always trying to keep up with our competition, so it may not be a bad exercise if you haven't done it, but it'd be interesting to know if you know if your competitors are doing that or not. All right. I appreciate everybody's response on that. So we'll go ahead and continue to move forward with the presentation. So today we're going to be covering a couple topics. First, why e-commerce is vital to your business, and we'll touch on a lot of different reasons why that's the case. How e-commerce can help you reduce cost and increase revenue. You know, if you think about it, e-commerce is basically the best kind of sales rep ever. You know, they're always on 24/7. They never take a vacation. They don't take sick time. You know, their commission structure is pretty much straight. You know, you don't have to worry about that. So we're going to talk about how you can reduce those costs and increase the revenue. We're going to show some e-commerce industry trends, some interesting information that we have that Daniel will be sharing with us, and then also talk about what's kind of the expected return on investment when it comes to an e-commerce project. You know, there's dollars that you spend up front. How long does it take you to recoup those dollars and really start seeing net new revenue to the organization above and beyond the investment that you made? Then we're going to really kind of dive into some of the solutions that are out there. Commerce Build is our featured speaker today. They're a partner of Microsoft. They're a partner of Ace. And we're excited to have them here with us today. They are our go-to partner when it comes to any kind of simple customer portals to more extensive, full-blown e-commerce type experiences. So from Commerce Build today is Daniel Saunders. He is their sales director. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Daniel to take control, and he will walk us through the rest of the presentation. Again, please ask any and all questions you might have. We'll try to answer those as we go through it and take some breaks to answer those as well. So with that said, Daniel, I am going to turn it over to you, sir.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Thank you so much to Ace Micro for having us on this conversation topic. I feel it's super important, especially in 2023. E-commerce really should be at the top of the conversation. We talked, history shows, being able to deliver something in an online fashion 24/7, 365 is really the present and also the future, right? I think Blockbuster is a good model for that, where they decided not to do that, and look what happened to them, right? But here in our topics of conversation, it's really going to be around, how do we drive new revenue? How do we reduce the administration costs? How do we keep and win customers? Improve the overall customer's experience? Reduce the customer inquiry emails, phone calls? How do you take your business and scale it and grow it worldwide? And that's even including the smallest of companies that may only have one location in a specific region, right? And then the last but not least, I think, which is probably the most important thing here, is how do you maximize the investment that you've already put into your ERP? You've spent not only time on it, but money in addition to that. Couple of types of e-commerce that's out there. If you're not familiar with that, we really look at 3 different types. That's a marketing driven, a sales driven, or an ERP driven type of business, right? For those that want to dive deeper into the understanding of these, marketing driven type of commerce is mainly a B2C type of site. They're going to be low number of SKUs, super quick to market. Think of like a cosmetic store, right? Or Kylie Cosmetics for that, to do that. The next one, sales driven, that's mostly a B2B scenario where business is done over the phone, or customers are sending you emails. You've got traditional sales reps placing orders on behalf of the customers. A lot of the times you won't see an e-commerce site at all. It's usually done by handshake. And usually the old school style of a business, and it's business as usual for them. What we're going to focus on today really is ERP driven, and that means that your ERP is the single source of truth, and it's feeding the e-commerce store. So again, that goes back to maximizing your investment in the ERP, right? You've put the work in to make the data clean, to understand what you need from a business standpoint. And then an ERP-driven e-commerce is we take that information inside of the ERP and we display it up so that your business-to-business customers or B2C customers will have access to that. They're going to be able to see the products that are in stock. They're going to be able to see their correct prices, and you're going to be able to see price changes for all kinds of different customers, and really focus on a self-serve style, right? So let's reduce those telephone calls and those emails by delivering what most people are after when they make those calls. Hey, where's the status of my order? Can I print an invoice? Can you send me a copy of that invoice? Those types of conversations that we can remove from a physical person, taking up time, handling those requests, to a customer being able to do it all themselves. And that's whenever they want. A couple of examples, and these are current customers of ours that offer ERP-driven style of e-commerce. We obviously work in the chemical space. Distribution and wholesale is actually a really big vertical for us. Food and beverage, manufacturing and industrial is also a big place for us. And then medical and pharma, believe it or not, one of our largest customers was distributing COVID vaccines up in Canada. And if you got a vaccine in Canada, then it went through our specific platform to do that. So really great. That means that we can handle and have a wide flexibility in being able to take care of, businesses and all of their forms of digital journeys, whether you're just beginning this digital journey or you're well-versed and you're a seasoned veteran in the e-commerce space. Couple of trends that we'll talk about. B2B commerce purchasing journey now mimics B2C, and I'm old enough to remember using spreadsheets and things of that nature to really get the parts and the products that I needed to run my business before I started my technical journey in e-commerce. But nowadays, especially with the younger crowd, right? We're getting the millennials and the Gen Xers to really take over the buying world. Like they're coming into the workforce, they're used to, telephones and smart devices, and they're used to e-commerce. They're used to going to the web and searching and finding that information out. So now more than ever, creating a B2C style for your B2B customers is becoming ever so important. Some information here that we've been able to get kind of touched on there. 73% of the B2B buyers in 2024 will be in that 20 to 35-year-old range, right? Again, like I mentioned earlier, they're raised with technology, something that I've adapted to from what they're normally used to is conducting their own research online. Typically, if a customer comes to you and they're asking questions and they're ready to potentially make a purchase, well, they've done 90% of the work. So they've put you on the short list and they're ready to have that particular conversation, which goes right into the second one, right? They don't want to speak to a sales rep until they're ready, and they expect to be able to do things 24/7, 365. So again, this is what we've seen, a massive shift from an older style of e-commerce that really, it was more of a B2C kind of conversation, but now it's shifted into that B2B conversation moving forward. And again, their desire is that B2C experience because that's what they're used to. They're used to going to Target, the Walmarts, the Best Buys, and searching in that category fashion, that filtering fashion for that. They don't want to have complexities in their buying process. They love to manage things on their own, which is why people are now utilizing an online portal more than ever. They really want to feel special, right? And you want to be able to provide a personalized buying experience. And if you don't provide that, they're not afraid to turn to a competitor. And I have a certain case that they'll be willing to spend a little bit more with that competitor too, just for ease of use. What we see is e-commerce, especially B2B, it's a rapidly growing market and it's 5 times that of a B2C, right? And we were talking the value of a customer from a B2B customer to a B2C customer. A B2B customer is way more valuable because you don't put as much marketing dollars into keeping that customer, right? You may get the marketing dollars in to attract the customer and win the customer, but to keep a B2B customer is a heck of a lot lower of an overall cost than a B2C customer that you constantly have to market, constantly have to send new messaging out to on a daily basis. Second trend specifically for manufacturers and distributors are creating a complete integrated B2B and B2C site. And that means integrating with the ERP because obviously that's where the most important data resides. Again, this is the ability to deliver unified inventory management. So not only your sales reps, your customer service reps, but your customers, if you'd like them to be able to understand and get that granular level of detail, then a B2B e-commerce can absolutely provide that. It's less technology requirements and maintenance. You're not trying to overly impress like you are a B2C customer to continue to come back, maybe give you some word of mouth. You can offer streamlined brand and marketing promotions. Again, we look at the ERP as the single source of truth. And the B2B buyers desire consumer buyer experiences. I think we've said that 3 times now. I can't emphasize that enough, that you have to create an experience that people are used to. And then the last trend here is personalization for B2B buyers. You want to make sure that your best customers, which are your B2B customers, are happy, right? And being able to personalize their experience. Maybe when they log in, they see their own logo. Maybe they see their colors. They see only the products that they want to purchase and that they know to purchase. So, you're creating an experience for those B2B users to continue to do business with you. They stay happy and then they talk about you, right? So again, account-based personalized logins, offer the dynamic pricing that you've got already set up inside of your ERP. You can create custom product recommendations, self-serve customer portals, and again, personalize the categorization and the product filtering so that you make searching and ultimately buying easier. Bottom line, the B2B buyers want e-commerce. And look, we're not making up stats. This is all from prweb.com. So these are independent people not associated with us that are doing this research. And look, just like I said earlier, a B2B buyer will turn to a competitor if a supplier's digital channel doesn't meet their needs, right? And a B2B buyer will pay a premium for great e-commerce experiences and stuff. I mean, my personal experience, I ran a couple of auto care garages before I went into my technical background that I have now, and it was all done old school. You know, customer would come in, you'd get the ticket, you take a look at the car, they would have, you know, the technician would have the recommendations, you pick up the phone, you'd call Napa, AutoZone, all those places, you'd get the bid, and then you go through all that. Well, in my experience, Napa created their own customer portal. And I went from a $20,000 a month buying with Napa, because I used to split it up, to really $50,000 a month with Napa, because it made it so much easier, right? We were a 4-bay operation that did 12-bay numbers, so we were moving. And I needed to create a super fast but rock solid way to provide estimates to my customers. And I also needed to be able to service a lot of customers so that they stayed happy. Some of the frustrations that we see in e-commerce, and I've been in e-commerce for about 13 years now, I've seen it all. But, you know, some of the frustrations are expensive and long-term contracts, time-consuming delays, and then, you know, specialized resources that require, you know, complex solutions on that. And there's other ones that are out there, but these three, at least for me in my mind, they really stick out. These are the things that, you know, as my account management career progressed, these are the things that we always talked about and always tried to solve for. When we talk about the Commerce Build solution, we offer a complete ERP integrated e-commerce store and a customer portal specifically for Microsoft Dynamics Business Central. We can offer a B2B, we can offer a B2C, all in the same site. We could do that for a lot of things, affordable price, fast fixed fee implementations, and we don't offer any contracts. I'm not, you know, we're not going to negotiate with you for 3 or 5 year contracts. We want to earn your business every single day, every single ticket, every single interaction. We think that's important. Some of the things that we solve for, I talked about the long-term contracts, I talked about the affordable pricing, I talked about the fixed price implementations. I did talk about fast implementations, right? So as little as 15 minutes, right, we can have you a customer portal with all of your customer data relevant, ready for your customer to log in and to be able to have that view, right? They're going to be able to look at invoices, they're going to be able to look at their ARs, they're going to be able to take a look at the tracking history. Most important things, right? We can build an entire web store that's a content page, home and then categories and filters. Do that in about 30 to 60 days. That's lightning fast. And we were able to do that because we know what we're doing. We understand how to build a site. We've already done all the hard part, and that's integrating into Microsoft Business Central. So that's as easy as downloading the app and then us loading the store in and pulling your data over. And then it's just, you know, creating the pages, creating the content, and then creating, you know, the actual website itself. We have a worldwide support team. It says here that we reply within an hour. I checked earlier this morning, we're about 28 minutes to first reply. And look, wherever you are on your digital journey, if you're just beginning and you're a small to medium business, we can help you. If you're an enterprise, you're very well versed in e-commerce, you know, are doing 500 orders a day, or, you know, we're protecting 2 million, you know, in net revenue per day, we can help those enterprise clients as well. We've got the experience. Our plug and play style of e-commerce. We've done, well over 1,000 sites. And I'd say, let's have a conversation about it. Let's talk about your unique business cases and why you're unique in your particular market space. And let's see how we enhance that. Some of the things that our customer inquiry portal can do for you and your customers. We're going to give time back to your sales reps and to your customer service reps. How do we do that? Well, we're going to be able to reduce calls, reduce emails. Customers will be able to check real-time inventory status. They can self-serve in their customer portal, again, 24/7, 365. They won't have to worry about having inaccurate account information because, again, we're pulling that stuff right out of Business Central. You can check order statuses. You can check shipment tracking. If you would like to have an interaction, whether it's an AI chatbot, whether it's a human chat, or maybe it's a combination of both, we support that. We encourage you to use things like that. Customers love that interaction. If you've got specific documents that you want to share with your customer that sales reps are taking calls for, your CSRs are taking calls for, we can put that onto the web so your customers can go in there and download those documents. So you never have to have those particular conversations again. You can reallocate that time to, earning new customers and figuring out ways that you can service your customers better, right? And at the end of the day, for a B2B customer, selling is one thing, but then you got to collect, right? So the e-commerce portal provides a very easy way that your customers can review their ARs. They can take a look at all the open records that they have, and then they can pay those open records and then have that integration to where those payments flow right back into the ERP, and then they post for you automatically. Again, what we're trying to do is cut down on the administration time, put the more time and the ability to grow your business back into your hands. One of the ways that we show value, and we can, is delivering an ROI calculator, right? Now, these are real numbers. We don't fluff any numbers up. What we wanted to do is show a real-time accurate piece of information that you, the customer, can take and insert your specific business data and then take a look. What's the ROI? When is my portal gonna finally pay for itself, right? In this particular case, the first year monthly value on this particular customer, they have 4 service reps interacting, $62,000 a year. This is all USD. We guess how many emails and calls that they have, minutes per transaction. All these are important to make sure that your business is running effective, right? And what we found out here in this particular use case was a total monthly CSR time saved was 6.6 days. Now you can reallocate that and they can go call brand new customers. They can call current customers. There's a ton of things that you can do in a 28-day month with 6.6 days. That's pretty much a whole week of time, right? B2B and B2C web stores, look, plug and play design. We have an omni-channel delivery approach. We have customer specific catalog, specific pricing. You can show real-time inventory, as I'd mentioned. We help with SEO. So that's really big for searching, right? You want to be able to end up at the top of the list of Google. So we're going to help you with all the best practices, talk about how you currently do it, make sure if you're currently doing e-commerce, we don't lose any SEO, but we enhance that. And then we offer and give you the ability to do cross-selling, which obviously gives you incremental gains and more net revenue overall. We offer product customization, third-party app integration. We do integrate with tons of shipping providers all across the globe. And then our search capability, which is pretty normal in today's standpoint, is using Elasticsearch so that, again, your customer has a great experience searching and they can do it quickly, right? This ROI calculator talks about an actual e-commerce store, right? So this is going to go into a lot more granular detail, but the same concept as the ROI portal calculator. What we want to do is figure out, what's the value of e-commerce to you and your business, and how can we financially make sense of installing an e-commerce website for that. I'll pause a little bit here and just think of if you guys have any questions. Mark, we can answer that, kind of give people a break to consume the information, and then I can go off to showing some real life customer cases that we have today.
Yeah, well, so far so good, Daniel. No real questions from the group, but I did have a comment and a question. So we had a distribution client that launched a customer portal, and their goal was to do kind of a limited launch. So they're just going to put it out to like 5 of their customers initially, not all their entire customer base. And they had an expectation. I won't get into dollar amounts, but they had a certain expectation. We'll call it X. Within the first year, the adoption within those 5 customers drove 4X what their initial expectations were. So it really just took off, and it took off fast.
Yeah.
Which was great for them. And so, but the question I would think that a lot of people have is, okay, if it takes off that fast, what can I expect from a performance standpoint? Are there more costs because I'm getting higher levels of adoption from you guys? Are there things I have to do to my back-end ERP system to be able to support that kind of transactions? Can you talk to that for a second, Daniel?
Yeah, I sure can. I can't speak specifically for the ERP version, Mark. You're probably better versed than I am in that one. However, I'm reminded of a very specific customer that did exactly what you're talking about, right? They had about 60 customer service reps in a call center fashion, right? They didn't have e-commerce. They were taking calls and orders over the phone. The moment that they integrated an e-commerce store into their ERP, and we have a quote on our site, their revenue doubled year over year, and they were able to take those 60 reps and reallocate them to do other things. So it wasn't even necessarily hey, we can do things better now on a smaller staff. It was, wow, we really ramped up our business. Let's really ramp it up by delivering excellent customer service and get these other reps to do certain things that are differently at all. So I say that to say this: our solution is built on Google Cloud. Okay, it is an elastic, vertically and horizontally scaling solution. And what that means to you, and you guys would never see this, is that if 1 customer or 1,000 customers are on your site, every single interaction will be the exact same. And we do that because we are understanding about the elasticity of our environment, and we built it to do that. So the more customers that you have coming to your site, which obviously in the real world increases, CPU, increases RAM, increases those things there, our engines automatically will spin up based off a certain utilization. So no matter what happens, your customer 1 or 1,000 will all experience the same type of experience. And that's very, very important. And now the best thing ever, because I sold a bunch of cloud back in my day. And yeah, you're right. Customers were always weary about, oh, if I do well, now my bill is going to be $5,000 instead of $1,000, right? We don't do that. We offer a flat SaaS fee. So your SaaS fee doesn't change at all. It's going to be that. If it's $1,000 a month, that's what it's going to be. Doesn't matter if you have 1 customer coming to the store or 1,000 a day. We do that because it doesn't feel good to penalize a business for growing, right? That's just our motto. Hopefully that answers the question.
Oh, absolutely. And it, and same on the ERP side. That's the beauty of the cloud, is that these systems are designed to expand and contract as needed, and provide the resources that you need. So there's not any issues that we see on the ERP side as well. But I just wanted to make sure we're perfectly clear that people understood that.
Yeah,
that you guys can scale with that. One other quick question / comment. So I laugh because you talked about the Gen Xers and the Gen Zers, and I have my youngest son's 23 years old, and he does everything on the daggone phone. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know how. I have to have a little bit more, work environment than that. He does everything on the phone. I mean, everything.
Yep.
It's rare that he sits down in front of a computer unless he's, doing something else. So the ability to transition these sites and render them to this new generation that does everything on the phone.
That's right.
Sites, they look good on your laptop, they look good on your desktop, but how do they look when you move it to an iPad, when you move it to a phone? can we get the same kind of level of look, feel, and function?
100%. That is one of the things that, forward-thinking individuals have to think about, right? Like my wife is the same way. I have no idea how she does everything on her phone, but she does. I'm kind of a mix, right? I like to do certain things on the phone, certain things. I guess I'm just an old head, and I put my foot in the sand and say, no, I'm going to do that on the laptop. I'm just better at that. Every single site that we create is mobilely optimized. We've got, and this is a fun little story. We've got an agriculture company that sells fertilizer and things to their farmers. I never knew this, but farmers are now on their tractors while they're ordering stuff from their iPhone from our customer. And that just blew my mind. It's like, wow, you know what? I don't know why I wouldn't think that would happen, because everything's moving to a mobilely optimized type of scenario. But that would be the last probably industry in my mind to do that, right? But hey, we're in 2023, everything's accessible 24 hours. And that's why we're pushing, like, everyone should have a web presence so that your customers can interact with you when they want, not just when your doors are open and your phone lines are on.
So Farmer John is a little bit more technically savvy than we expected, right? Is what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. All right. Well, that's I think what I have for here. So if you want to continue on, Daniel, I appreciate it.
Great. Let me show some of our customers here. So every single one of our customers that I'm going to show here are live customers. Okay. They offer a B2C style and a B2B e-commerce scenario, right? Some have less features, some have more features. So what I'll do is I'll kind of show a little bit of everything in our capabilities. However, if you've got a unique use case and you want to do something very specific, that doesn't mean just because I don't show it that we can't do it, right? We just need that specific use case and I can show you. But this is a customer of ours. They are a manufacturer and a distributor, so they do both, right? Which is why I like to show them. You can, easily navigate to the site. You can absolutely browse around. You can look at all the products. Again, all of this information is being driven from the ERP, and that's what we want, right? We want the information, the work to be done in the ERP, and then you use our platform to enhance the data, right? So in certain cases, you're probably limited by characters for product descriptions. Well, product description should be enhanced either in our platform or a PIM, and then we can integrate with that PIM, or you can display that information here, right? So most of this information that you're going to find right here, over here, and right there, that's going to be driven from the ERP. The product description here, more than likely, is being housed and delivered in the Commerce Build platform. All these specifications, again, are right there. You can have data sheets that your customers can pull open and stuff. Again, anything that you want to share with your customer, we can figure out a way to put it up on the web so that you can see. We've got related items for people to buy, so it entice that upsell. But I just want to bring this like B2C look here for this specific product. You can see the net price here of $74.45. You've got some codes, minimum order quantities. Again, MOQs are easy for us. The power of the platform really is when you log in, right? So I'm going to log in. I'm a super user, so I've got access to all kinds of things. So I'm actually this customer up here now. So look, you can give this functionality to your sales reps, to your customer service reps, and instead of doing lookups inside the ERP, now they can actually use the e-commerce platform to handle customer service calls, or if they're having a common ground conversation with their customer, they could use the web to actually have that conversation, to find things easier, be able to deliver that information. So again, I'm up here. This is Formatech. It says welcome me because you know who I am. Now, because I'm logged in as Formatech, now I get pricing. Now I get contract pricing that is specific for these individuals here. The other thing too that this customer wanted to do is provide item and manufacturer numbers. Not a good example for this particular part, but they wanted to provide customer numbers. So an additional way to search, right? So you don't have to search for a manufacturer number, but you can search for a customer number. So maybe that customer uses a different number. If you've got that customer number inside the ERP, we can show that. You can offer the ability to check stock, right? And I'll show you another site that does a really good job of showing not only quantity available for one location, but multiple warehouse locations, and then also being able to show what's currently on PO. So you could really get granular, you know, sales reps will be able to change their customers. And again, it's all driven straight from the ERP. We have all of that data. Now, you're saying I've got 10 sales reps and 1,000 customers, and it's all split up between. They don't, you know, one sales rep or CSR doesn't need to look at 1,000 customers. That's fine. You can assign customers in the store so that when they pull up this particular view, they only see their customers. So it'll be a faster search, faster the ability to, you know, assume the identity of that customer, whether they want to order on their behalf or just have that common ground conversation. The back-end portal, you can put, hey, welcome to your new customer account page, you know, whatever message that you want. Could also be a pop-up if that's what you'd like. But here now we're pulling up all the order history information. We've got order numbers, we got PO numbers. Again, they're also searchable. You can filter by dates. You can see quantity ordered. You can see quantity on back order. You can see the status of those orders, whether they're shipped, they've just been entered, which is kind of a processing thing for this particular customer, and then see the ones that are only on back order. We can show partially shipped items. We can look at the tracking history of those things. I'm going to drill in really quick because I think the power of looking at a partially shipped order is really neat. So again, we've got items that are in stock. We've got items that need to be created. So we've got specific invoices that are being delivered that you can pull out. You've got tracking numbers that are integrated with those specific providers. So now your customers can follow along. My wife loves to do that. You can add specific detailed information down here. So estimated dock date to Apex's customers means that's when they receive it. And then they know typically 24 to 48 hours that'll be shipped out back to them. If they just want to hit the reorder button, they can reorder it right there. If they want to print that specific order out, they can do that as well, right? Now, of course, you have customers that buy from you. Like I mentioned earlier, how do I get paid, right? Well, this is how you get paid. Long are the days, and hopefully your customers aren't sending checks in the mail with the way USPS has been going. And you know, also the whole idea of taking a credit card over the phone. Well, that doesn't necessarily fall within the PCI standards that you have to have, right? So here we provide a payment portal. Customers can see all of their invoices. They can see credits. They can see what's open. They can see what's paid. They can view individual ones. They can pay open invoices in a mass fashion by just clicking on this side right here. If you want to allow your customers to partial pay some invoices, we can do that as well. Apex does a wonderful job of offering a way for a discount if you pay early, right? So they're trying to stack the cash flow. They're trying to get, you know, deliver incentives in this, you know, trying economic time to help customers say, hey, look, if I pay this early, then, you know, it helps my business as well. We can handle quotes. So if you're a customized shop and you work a lot on quotes or it's a mix, we have a way that you can submit a quote. You have a way that obviously you can view the quote, take a look at everything, take a look at your quantities, what you want, grand total, and then at the end of the day, you can process that quote and turn that into an actual order. So again, just another way that we can help your customers do certain things. If your customer orders a bunch of things over and over again, Apex doesn't have it. We have save cart features. If it's a big order and they take things like bread or something like that, where they're buying 500 buns, 800 biscuits and things like that, then you can import an order. We have all different ways to be able to satisfy your customers' needs. Again, it's important. Ease of buying. You don't want to make your customer jump through fiery hoops just to do business with you. We want to deliver the way that your customers need to, right? As far as design, as far as creating that B2C experience, but for your B2B buyer, if you guys have ever had any of the Sconza chocolates, highly recommend them. Super addictive. Local Costco's have them. But again, look, we can provide a nice styling, an easy look, and then when you want to go into your wholesale customers, well, now we can drive down in to the wholesale experience, and now we get all kinds of good customer information, right? So now I'm part of Golden State. I can see a quick order status here. So if you already know what you want to buy, your customers don't want to go through a traditional buying experience, look, we can handle it here, and it's super easy. Of course, it's filled in by Elasticsearch. You can add the item that you want. You can increase quantities. In this particular view, every time that you add something, if you go over to the cart, those items are being automatically added into the cart so that you can get out of there and do what you need to do, right? Let's move. Same thing with the order history. They're going to be able to look at everything. The one thing that Sconza does really well is, I really love it. I talk about our document synchronization, and they do that here. So instead of having your customer print out a white page with all this stuff, well, now you've got access to that wonderful invoice that Business Central actually creates, right? So a lot of the back-end AR people need this and need to file it away when they do the end of month or end of quarter reconciliation. Then they can handle all of that in that particular capacity. Let me see if we do a good job on this one of stock availability. Nope, not on this one, but Kookaburra, again, another B2C type of scenario. Again, for those of you who may not know cricket, I'm a big baseball guy. Don't really understand cricket a whole lot. I'm curious about it. But what I like to show here is more like a retail format, right? So we've got clothes, we've got socks, we've got hats. I show this because variants, right? So in this particular scenario, we can do all kinds of variants. So small, medium, large, that can be there, different colors, right? Again, we just want to provide a way that your customer is used to, right? If you go to adidas.com or nike.com today, this is the style that you have. You want to be able to provide that for your specific customers, easy peasy. Now, the more complicated customers, so those that have kits, a lot of manufacturers and things like that will use a more integrated piece of that. So again, you've got really good data and really good products inside of your ERP. Well, how do you display that in a way to make it easy for your customers, right? Oxworks does that really well. They are a fence building company. They can do glass fencing and steel fencing. And what they needed was a really easy way for their customers to be able to give quotes, whether it's in a residential or a commercial fashion, right? So what we were able to do here is build a fence configurator. And basically, it's all the products that you would need to build a fence that you would normally say you'd walk in Lowe's or you'd walk in Home Depot, you spend 2 hours going up and down the aisle, grabbing the items that you need, checking your notes to be able to look at all the dimensions. And then after you get maybe the wrought iron steel and the caps and stuff like that, well, gosh, now you have all the screws and you have all the little things that, God, it's going to be tough to figure out, well, how many do I need? Do I need 100? Do I need 250? Oxworks did a really good job here. And now they can do it all here from the web, right? So I'm going to add multiple runs. So let's just make an easy rectangle fence here. Got the house in the middle. We go to the next stage of it. It's got a rendering thing here, so you can follow along. So now we're looking at run length, panel height. Are you requiring aluminum sleepers, right? Or you need longer posts? Do you need it to be a breezeway type of thing, right? And that's one side. Go to the next side. And I'm just going to go through a few of these to make it all the same, right? I won't spend a lot of time. But again, your contractors can come here and really create what they need to be able to ask for that. So here we come to the next thing, and it's like, okay, great. Do you need concrete post mix? Do you need, channel post caps? Do you need a Galvabond items? Like, again, all these things are here. How many screws do you need? Hit the next button. Great. Now here's your shopping list. So what normally used to take people, an hour to 2 hours to go in, find everything that you need to fit the dimensions and all the additional items that you may forget, may not. You got to figure out a way to accurately come up with a quote for your client. Well, this is what we were able to provide. Once you add all this into the cart, I'm not going to do it because it's a live customer. Once you add all this into the cart, you will get your quote. You can check out. You can take that quote, go back to your customer, add on your labor services, whatever you need. Again, we want to provide a fast, easy, reliable option so customers can do what you want them to do, and that's purchase from you and keep coming back to you. That's super important to us. All right. We'll hop back.
Yeah, I like that. That product configurator is pretty nice. And when you start letting your mind run wild as far as the applications of that to a lot of our distribution clients, and how much easier it is to make purchasing decisions. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. And look, once you commit this order, the best thing is that, even though it's a kit, right? All of these individual line items have their own individual SKUs, and they're going to be automatically pushed back into the ERP in the right screens, in the right format, exactly the way that, you guys over at Ace Micro set it up. So there's not this huge, big, jambalaya of data and stuff that you got to piece together in the ERP. It works exactly the way it's intended to, and then you can go through your pick, pack, ship, and then on to the next customer. I show this next screen not to say, oh, this is our pricing, but to show gradually the ability to, move through your digital journey. Again, it's very easy for, especially on our platform, to have somebody that say doesn't have any online presence today, and they want to start with a portal, right? They want to be able to kind of train their customers instead of picking up the call, instead of sending that email or heaven forbid a fax. They go to your web store first, right? And maybe it's just getting them used to doing that. So you're not ready to sell, but you are ready to deliver them the important information that they need, the invoices, the documents, check back order status, review the AR records, potentially pay those open invoices. So you can start at a customer portal and then say 6, 7, maybe even 3 months, right? Short on that, because customers are going to ask. You say, man, I'm ready to start selling online. How do we do that? God, it's so easy. One, we're already connected into Business Central, so we already have the data. So there is no long integration where we have to map out the APIs to be able to pull the data out. We've already done all that hard work. The data's there. So what we have to do is create the content pages, create the category pages, create the actual products in there, and then we hit a button and we turn it on. Your customer will never, your current customers won't get interrupted. You won't have to put a maintenance page up to say, oh, sorry, come back later. Like, they're still going to be able to go to their portal. They're still going to be able to do those things. And then when you're ready to actually start selling online, let Commerce Build know. We hit a button on the back end and all those things become available. And now your customer can actually make those particular purchases. And then when you move into the advanced and enterprise type of packages, well, that means that you're becoming more seasoned in e-commerce and you've got more unique business cases that you need to show and things of that nature, right? So again, this just shows a nice, easy progression. But, I guess too, we're very transparent with our pricing. We're not hiding anything. We're not taking your requirements and saying, oh, it sounds complicated, let's upcharge, or hey, let's create a pricing system that's revenue based, right? Like, we don't believe in that. So again, you go to our site, it's all posted there. The only thing you're not going to see is the implementation, because obviously that is very specific to the customer. These are just good rule of thumb numbers. Your implementation may be less than this. It may be a little bit more. It just depends on the complication of what you want to show, what you want us to build, and how you want to present it over to your individual customers on that. This is just a quote from one of our customers. Again, we look at every interaction and we want it to matter, right? So after every ticket or interaction that you have Commerce Build, we actually ask you, how was your service, right? Give us, out of a 5-star rating, tell us how we did. And I can attest to, if we get a 4-star, we want to know what we could do to get a 5-star, right? And we track all of that. But for the most part, we do get 5 stars because, one, it's very rare to find a provider out there that understands not only their platform, but the ERP platform as well. We definitely don't know as much as Mark and his team, but we partner with Mark and his team. We understand what goes on inside of Business Central, and what that means to you, the customer, is when problems arise, not if, because it's e-commerce, there's always something that can happen. And if anybody says that their software platform works 100% of the time, I'd ask a few more questions, right? But the key to that is, how fast to a resolution can your provider fix for you, right? And because we have intricate knowledge of the ERP that you're using, we can get to a resolution a heck of a lot faster than another company that only knows their platform, right? That's when you get a lot of finger pointing and figuring it all out. We don't finger point. We want to get to the root cause and get you back online, back selling, and back happy. Now, one of the most awesome things that we're doing for Mark and his team, we want you guys to use e-commerce. We want you to have a digital footprint online. And this is no joke, we're going to give you a customer portal, our light version, free for life. I don't know of another offering that's out there that does that, but if you're interested, this is specifically for Ace Micro. Please reach out to Mark and his team. We can set this up. Again, this is a beginning way to start your digital journey if you're not already there, or if you do have a digital presence, maybe it's just a home page and some content pages. Well, now you can have a way for your customers to be able to go grab the important information that they really want. And please reach out to Mark. He can tell you more about it. We can get on a call. We can go through all of those things. But this is a wonderful promotion. Please take advantage of it. No strings attached, okay? Give you guys an idea, change the colors, change the Cronus. This may be a view of what your customers would see when they logged into an actual portal, right? So they're gonna be able to see their shipments, orders, and invoices. Again, just a way to start the digital journey on that. So I'm gonna go back to this, and in case anybody wants to scan the QR code. But I think if there's any questions, it'd be great to hear them.
Yeah, absolutely. And Daniel, great job today presenting everything. And we certainly appreciate this offer that you're making to our clients. I'm quite confident several of them will take you up on that. But one of the questions I did have come in, so you talked about the free portal for life, which again is a fantastic offer. And then you went through kind of how you can grow your organization and your commerce capabilities through the different platforms and pricing you showed earlier. So the question is, if I start off with the portal light and I want to go to the normal customer portal, and then I want to go to the next level, am I having to rip and replace every time I do that? Or is it kind of a natural transition and the technology just grows and expands with me as my needs grow and expand?
And as someone that sold a whole bunch of e-commerce solutions that did exactly what you're asking, or what you're asking for is different. Like it would be a lift, shift, a complete migration.
Yeah,
we don't
offer. You just rip it out and start again, and that's painful, expensive.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's no bigger word in the world to me that causes a headache than the word migration, because this fear of all the unknowns come up. And then how long is that going to take? Am I going to have all the data transition over? Is it going to create an outage? Do I have to tell my customers? And that's a whole other communication. So yeah, you don't have to do any of that with Commerce Build at all. You can start with a free portal for life, the light portal, and then say, hey, I want to start selling online, or I want the full paid portal so I get all the features of the portal, right? Well, great. Again, engage with Commerce Build. tell us what you want. Let's look at the views. We build it all on the back end. It's the same environment. And then when you're ready to show all that and deliver that to your customer, it's a button push in the back, and it goes live. Same thing for selling online. We can create hundreds and hundreds of pages on the back end that no one can see until you're ready. And then when you're ready, we hit a button and it all goes live. So no more pesky migrations, no more expensive migrations, because we all know how expensive a data migration can be. Yeah, it's super easy on our platform, and that is exactly what we wanted to do, was to create an easy journey from the smallest to the largest enterprises and the most complicated setups.
Yeah, no, that's great. That is great, because yeah, when I mention the word migration, I tend to use air quotes around it, whether you see me or not, because it really, in a lot of cases, means that's a redeployment, you know.
So I want to let you know I've got goosebumps and my hair standing up on my arms from talking about migrations.
You and me both. We've had, unfortunately, a lot of those conversations here lately. So, well, this is excellent stuff. We certainly appreciate it. I don't see any other questions currently from the group, but I will tell you that, again, Daniel, great job, wonderful information. If you're on the call today, or if you watch this video at a later date and you're interested in the free portal, please reach out to your ACE Micro representative, and they will coordinate the appropriate conversations. But you know, it's kind of a no-brainer in my mind. You know, you have to invest a little bit of time, obviously, to get things right and work with the Commerce Build team. But beyond that, there's just no cost, and it's a service that you can provide, a value-added service you can provide your clients at really no cost to you, but certainly some savings to you. So from that perspective, again, I think it's a pretty straightforward decision. Daniel, anything else you want to cover, sir?
If you haven't taken the step on your digital journey in 2023, I think you should. At least have the conversations. Get all the information that you can, present it to the people that make decisions, and then, you know, if you don't have that presence, you have to. You have to have something. We're in an era that everyone does everything online, you know, and if you don't have that option for new customers to be able to interact with you, then you're really missing the boat. And I can't stress that enough. But I think that's a good way to end on that one, is start your digital journey. And I think the free portal for life is a wonderful way to start that. It's literally no cost to you from a money standpoint. There is time involved, but I think you're going to get a pretty good ROI for the time that you've invested in creating a portal for your customers.
I would agree. Well, so with that, I'll go ahead and close this out. Daniel, again, appreciate everything. And anybody in the audience that's interested in talking further about full-blown e-commerce, or just starting off with the light portal, light customer portal, again, please reach out to us.